Hi guys, Crazymoves09 here. This was originally part 6 of the video. I've watched through the first 6 parts again, and there's really not that many interesting spots in the early game. It's all pre-antes, and I think most people have a relatively decent idea of the early game, and I also think that most of your money is won in the middle and late game in this big MTT. So I'm actually going to re-edit. I'm doing this video again so that I can actually make this part 1, and we're going to start from here with antes, and hopefully it'll just make the videos a lot more interesting instead of having so much boring stuff at the start and losing everybody's interest by the time we get into the action. So we're going to start from here, and blinds are 100, 200, antes 25 I think. There's, as we can see, we've got our HUD up here, we've got limp, fold to limp, raise when folded to, call raise, steal, fold burst steal, re-steal, fold burst re-steal, 3-bet, and fold to 3-bet. So they're the stats we're using here. As far as history goes, just from watching, I played this tournament actually quite a while ago. I've got quite a few more decent scores since then, so I'll be putting them up as well. But the only history we really have is I've been 3-betting this guy quite a lot. He's opening a lot. He's opening 42% of the time when he's folded to. So I've really been 3-betting him a lot. To start with, my first couple of 3-bets were light, and then I had I think I had queens against him twice, so I had a couple of value 3-bets which he folded, I think, to all 4 of them. So he may have even called one of the looser 3-bets and then folded to my C-bet. So a bit of history between there, but that's about it. And here he opens up again in the hijack, obviously killing his range with ace-queen. We're in position, so we want to play this hand nice and aggressively, take the lead, take the control of the pot basically, and it gives us a lot more strength and a lot more credit for when he does just flat call. Then we'll get folds from the C-bet a lot more often than when we just flat call here. We're going to have to fold to his C-bet a lot, but when we 3-bet, he's going to check to us more often, and we're going to get to take it down. Also here, because we've already 3-bet him so often, already 4 times, if he 4-bets me here, we're on close to 100 big blinds, so I probably don't want to shove ace-queen for 5-bet shove, even though I really think that if he's a capable player, he could 4-bet me light here. But it would definitely be one of my options, and another option, depending on the size of his 4-bet, if he makes it really small to give himself room to fold to my 5-bet, like just 3,600 or something, it cost me an extra 2,000 to see, I may elect to just flat call here in position with ace-queen and jam any favourable flops, or I may elect to just 5-bet jam, because I would feel very strongly that he could be 4-betting me light here. So here we 3-bet and he just folds, we take it down. Move through the hands pretty quickly. We'll just watch this hand. Obviously, this is not the way you want to be playing kings or aces for that matter. Raise it up, people are going to be calling you wide enough, 3-betting you wide enough. You're just losing value by limping here. You're hiding the strength of your hand, but you're also still going to find it hard to get all of somebody's chips unless they end up drawing out on you on the flop, turn or river. So you're a lot better off just raising it up here and trying to get the pot heads up. If you end up with a heap of limpers here, a lot of the time you're going to end up big. And on these sorts of boards, it's obviously really dangerous, and when you are beat, it's really hard to fold hands like these. So you really want to take the initiative right from the start, try and get the pot's heads up and get a clearer view of where you're actually at. The ace comes down here, so he just checks it and loses a lot of value. Basically the way he should have played this hand, I mean, these guys are pretty bad. This guy's only calling 13% of the time to a raise, so he probably folds his queen 9 here, but basically here he should have raised to about 600 or so. Raise size is basically up to you, but 2.5x I would say max at this stage. Doesn't need to be any bigger than this. Should have raised pre-flop and got it to heads up, and then the c-bet would have been fine on the flop. And if he had played it this way, once the ace comes down on that sort of flop, I think you really still need to bet, because on this flop there, really representing a draw or maybe a piece of that board, like top pair 9s or something, this hand we're not really seeing as the hand that our opponent would necessarily have if someone called us pre-flop. But here a bet would be really good if you had raised pre-flop. A lot of people shut down when they see the ace here, but it just gives so many free cards to the draws, and most of the time when he's calling you on this board, he's not calling you on like an ace 10 or something. He's generally calling you on a draw or a 9, like a jack 10, queen jack, something like that. So just something to think about. That's why I wanted to go through that imaginary scene. And then once you get called on the turn, on the river, you would just check and use it basically as a bluff catcher. So you would check here, the pot would be a bit different. If you had 7-10, that's about all it got there, which we wouldn't really be putting in to someone's range when they're only calling 13%. So here I'd just check, and if they put out anything reasonable, I'd be snap calling them for when they're trying to steal with their missed jack 10 or queen jack. So. And then once you get called on the turn, on the river, you would just check and use it basically as a bluff catcher. So you would check here, the pot would be a bit different. If you had 7-10, that's about all it got there, which we wouldn't really be putting in to someone's range when they're only calling 13%. So here I'd just check, and if they put out anything reasonable, I'd be snap calling them for when they're trying to steal with their missed jack 10 or queen jack. So. Here, king queen. Here to an early position raise. They're both quite short. They're only just over 20 blinds, or about 24 big blinds actually. With bigger stacks here, and with this guy, if this guy had been a little more active, I actually think this is a pretty good spot for a squeeze to someone who is not playing too positionally aware. Even this guy, we can see, is raising, he's raising 18% early position, 14% from middle position, 16% from cutoff, and 14% from button. So over a small sample of hands, he's actually raising more from early position than anywhere else. And this guy is calling 28% of raises. So if stacks were deeper here, I think this would be a great spot to raise it up to about 16.25 or something and try and take this down here. It makes it look really strong when you're raising against an early position raiser and then a caller, but from the information we have, their ranges may not necessarily be as strong as they look, so this would be a really good spot to look really strong. As their stacks are, I elect not to 3-bet, just because I'm going to be pretty much committed if they do 4-bet down me, and I'm probably not going to be doing great against that range. Flat calling here actually probably wouldn't be all that bad, but I elect just to fold because you're going to run into a lot of, you're going to find it hard to know where you're at. After just saying these guys are quite loose, your king-queen isn't going to be dominated as often here, but you still are going to run into quite a lot of trouble, and with 2 people already in the pot, I decide to fold. Let me know what you guys think about that spot. I generally am not just coming into these pots, but in late position with king-queen suited, maybe it's not such a bad spot here. Generally I'm either 3-betting or folding here, so let me know what you guys think. Jack 7 suited would definitely have been raised if folded to us, just to try and take down the money in the pot. Raising for a fold equity rather than raising for value, and when we get called we can take it down with our c-bet a lot of the time. I apologise, I've got a few comments that I'm not speaking loud enough. I'll really try and keep speaking up throughout the video. I do apologise to you guys. I've got a decent mic now, so when I replay the videos on my computer they sound fine. I'm not really sure why they're not coming out as good a quality, as good a sound quality when I upload them to YouTube, so or to the site. So I'll try and improve that for you guys. I hope I didn't miss anything there. Ace-8 here, let me open it up, try and take down that dead money again, and take it down with a c-bet when they're called a lot of the time. If we're 3-bet by anyone here, I'm folding to most. This guy has got a 14.3% 3-bet, but it's over a small sample of hands. As we can see, he's done it once from the button out of 5 times, once from the cut-off out of 1, and once from middle position out of 6 times. So he's definitely 3-betting quite frequently. Could be just a run of hands, but if he 3-bet me here to say 1500 or something around that area, I may elect to make it about 4,200 and fold to a shove. I'm a little over 50 big blinds deep, so I think I can do that. And if he's 3-betting light here, I think he'll fold to the 4-bet quite a decent amount of the time. Out of 2 times that he has been 4-bet, he actually hasn't folded, so after looking at that, Ace-8 off might not be the best hand to 4-bet light, so I might wait for a better spot and let him take this one down. But you definitely need to be aware of the people that are 3-betting you light and not just let them run over you. You've got to be willing to come back over the top of them when you don't quite believe them. Here we get called by the big blind. Get a decent flop. It's not bad for us at all. Nearly 1800 in the pot, just about half pot is a good c-bet here, around 900. We're ahead most of the time still here with our ace-high, or a lot of the time anyway, and when we're not, we've still got outs. We've got 2 overs and a gut shot straight draw, so we just take it down. this pot. Ace-4 on the button, easy open. He gets black-called by the Jack-9, which is not bad, not a bad hand, but it's defending your blinds at all. I probably don't defend my blind enough by just flat calling. Generally like to 3-bet from the blinds as well if I want to defend my blinds and try and take it down there. But hands like this are good to flat call. I think you can hit a lot of boards, but you just have to make sure you're deep enough. I see people defending their blinds with like 20, 25 big blinds, and you're just not deep enough. You either need to be reshoving or folding. To be defending your blinds with these sort of hands, I really think you need to be at least like 40 blinds deep. But then when you do hit hands like top pair, you need to not get too carried away. You don't want to be getting your whole 40, 50 big blinds in on a pair of jacks with a 9 kicker or anything like that. So that's probably why I elect not to flat call and defend my blind too much, is because I like to stay away from the harder spots and make my decisions more clear. So, but for people with this style, it's a good hand to defend the blinds. 10-8 off, yeah, middle position. Suited would definitely be open. We want to be, once the antes come in, we've got these good stacks, we really want to be trying to get involved in the action, open up as many pots as we can, steal as many pots as we can, and keep our stack ahead of the curve, basically. I really like to be above 40 big blinds. That's where you're comfortable. You can basically play how you want at 40 big blinds. So when I am above 40 big blinds, I'll play really aggressively with my stack to try and keep it that way. Stay ahead of the rising blinds. King Jack under the gun, definitely not opening there, that just get into trouble. Interesting hand here. Get the raise under the gun, only 15 big blinds, 9s shoves, which is fine. It's a bit of a gross spot when someone pretty tight opens up under the gun and you've got a hand like 9s with 15 big blinds. You know, they've got a really tight range, but all you can do is shove it and hope, basically. This time, Queen's right behind, obviously gets it in no time. Jacks here. Really, you're not going to be ahead very often, and you could get away from this, but I don't expect anyone at this level to get away from this. And to be honest, a lot of the time when you do get away from these sort of hands, they flip over like 8s and 6s or something like that. So I don't blame people for not folding a hand like jacks at these stakes, but this guy hasn't done anything too crazy. He's been pretty tight, so I think when he gets it in over his raise and he snaps it in over the top, I think he's pretty well crushed. Sometimes you can run into ace king, but his range is still really strong there, like maybe 10s plus ace king, so you're not doing too well against that range. I really think you can get away from that pot. And the Queen's holds and takes down a really nice pot. On the button here, with 7-9, we've opened here to Hound Dog, who's opening so much. I don't mind a light 3-bet here. The only thing is, I've already been 3-betting him so much, so I want my 3-bets now to be more on the value side, because I'm expecting him to get sick of it soon and come over the top of me. I'm getting close to 40 big blinds, so I think I probably should wait for a better spot here. I'm not sure whether I take it or not. He's definitely a guy that you can just relentlessly punish with light 3-bets, but after you do it so often, you've got to know that they're going to start to adjust, so maybe starting to stick to more of a value range after you've already got away with it so many times is a better idea. This time he gets 3-bet by Espinal, who's still 3-betting like crazy, I think. These hands are filtered. I should have undone that before before making the video. It's filtered by number of players, so while we've only got 7 players here, we haven't actually got very many hands on each player, so that should come back soon though. When we have 9 tables, there's still plenty, 9 players, there's still plenty of people left in the tournament. This one started with 1020, I think, 1,020 entrants, so here with Hound Dog opens again, and we have a hand in the top of our value range. Seems to be getting a lot of good hands when he opens, but he is raising 42% of the time, so it's not really hard to see why it feels like that. We 3-bet him here. He makes it just under 900, 25.50. We've gone with quite a big size raise here for that 800. I'm usually around 2.5, but here I go a bit bigger. That way, with the stacks that are around, if anyone on these, like around the 30 and below, or yeah, basically 30 and below, if they want to go in the pot, they basically have to just shove here, so it gives someone else a good opportunity to just get all the chips in for me. Yeah, we just get folds around and take it down with the Ace-King. Very next hand, Pocket Kings, raise up to 880 in early position. As you can see, I'm just going I'm only doing 2.2 big blinds here at the moment, keeping it nice and small, and it's all we need. We're going to get the same result from a 2.2 big blind raise as we are from a 2.5 big blind raise. So just keeping our raises small, and then we can take down a lot of pots with smaller bets post-flop is the idea at the moment, and be trying to open as many pots as we can, basically. Here we bet just over half pot, 1600, a decent sized bet, and when you have a hand like this and stacks like this, you really need to be thinking, basically, right from the start, how many chips you need to have in by the river so that you can shove. We want to be getting all the chips here, so on our first bet we make it 1600 and he calls 1600, which adds 3200 to the pot, making it 6000. When we make it 6000 and he's on 14,000 already in the pot, then we know we can bet about 3,500 or so. Actually, we won't even need that much. I'll go forward to the turn. Here, with 14,000, it makes it a lot easier. Even if we bet 3,000, he's only going to have 11,000 behind when he calls, and that's going to put an extra 6,000 in the pot, making it 12,000. So we're going to have his stack covered there. If we wanted to get our 16,000 in here, then if we bet 3,500 and he calls, that leaves us with 12,500. And he calls, that puts 13,000 in the pot, adding, so that gives us room to shove and not cover the pot, so we can still get all our chips in there. So whatever your stack is, basically from the start you want to be setting it up so that you can get all your chips in here. Here, if I wanted to get here I think just about 3,000 is good to get him in, but a little stronger just because, actually I think that's fine with his 14,000. If I wanted to get my whole stack in, then I think I should make it about 35, 3,600, 3,650, something like that. So here I actually do make it 3,600. I maybe was calculating to the wrong stack. I'm generally playing quite a few tournaments at a time, so I may not have even noticed that he was 2,000 chips smaller than me. I generally do. I may have actually just made it bigger there. I'm not sure. That is a mistake, basically, not a big one at all, but even 3200's plenty there. You don't need to bet very big. We want to keep him in the hand. We've got the king of spades there, so another spade isn't too bad. So yeah, just try and always be thinking of how much is in the pot and how much you need to get in by the river so that you can shove and get all those chips in. That's it for this part, guys. Like I said, I'm going to turn this into part 1 and we're going to start going from here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope my voice has been a lot clearer this time. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you think of the quality of play, whether I've made any mistakes in there or not, and whether there's any interesting spots to discuss. Alright, I'll be back.